All righty, ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in for another Facebook Live broadcast here with the Northern Kentucky Career Center. My name is Haley Franklin, and I'm here with Jennifer Murphy.
Jessica.
Oh, Jessica, I'm sorry. Jessica, can you hear me? Jennifer? Can you hear me? Are we live? What's happening? Jennifer? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi!
Hey! April Fools, everybody. We are here and ready to rock and roll with another Facebook Live broadcast. So Jessica came here to me yesterday and she was like, tomorrow's April 1st. We have to do something funny for April Fool's Day. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we're rolling with it. We are here for another edition of Facebook Live with our employers, and we've got the lovely Jessica Murphy here today, and she is from Citi Bank. So we're going to go into just a couple of different roles that they're offering here in just a minute. And if you guys have questions as you're watching, please just make sure to put those in the comment section of the video, and we will get to those questions at the near end of our conversation. We've got a few people rolling in. Let us know that you can see and hear us, and we will get started. Jessica is such a good sport. I love that she was totally for an April Fool's joke yesterday. So I hope you guys are hanging in there with us.
I'm good at pulling them off. I'm bad at being the recipient.
Same here. Oh, that's great. And today is Wear Blue Day in our office. So I match your company's colors. So
right. I couldn't do blue. I didn't want to blend in too much.
Just be like a floating head on the screen. All right. So we've got Garrett Griffith joining us, and he says he can see and hear us. Awesome, Garrett. Thank you. All right, so let's jump right into it, Jessica. Like I said, we're here with Jessica Murphy. She's a senior recruiter at Citi Bank, and she is going to talk to us about the roles that they're hiring for there. Jessica, if you want to start us off with just a little overview and give us some intros, or just give us an overview of your company, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. So Citi Bank is very rich in history, not only in the U.S., but in the Northern Kentucky area. For any trivia buffs out there, if you do a little research, you'll see that Citi was actually the creator of the ATMs that we all know and love. So
I didn't know that.
Absolutely, yeah. So very enriched in the U.S. We are an international company, so we have locations throughout the world. In Florence, we opened actually in Erlanger in 1989, and then we moved over to the building in Florence. We have a couple thousand employees there, so it's a very large facility. Wow. We're not all there right now because of COVID, but it's a large employer in the area. We have nearly 30 different departments at the Florence location. So coming in, most people go into customer service or collections, but there's so many different ways that you could grow within Citi right here locally. And then if you're mobile and you want to relocate later on, maybe New York, Tampa, Jacksonville, something like that, or San Antonio, there's more ways that you can grow with the company.
Oh, that's amazing. I did not know the ATM thing. How cool is that?
Right?
Yes, that's so cool. And you guys are huge. I didn't realize that you had so many employees in the Northern Kentucky region as well. So about how many are you looking to hire? What's your dream?
Per class, we are doing about 18 hires per class. And we typically have 1 to 2, sometimes up to 4 classes per month. So it does vary from month to month.
Okay, awesome. Wonderful. Thank you for that. And then talk a little bit more about the actual positions that you're hiring for.
Yeah, so I mentioned that we have several departments. So we do have a credit group. They're not hiring currently, but I like to mention that they're out there. So they're the credit acceptance group. So people that apply for credit cards, we're taking a look to see if they can be approved.
Okay.
We have a sales group. So our personal bankers are on the phones and they're opening new accounts for our clients. We have collections and recovery. A lot of people hear collections and they kind of freeze up and they're like, I don't want to do that. It's not the collections that, people think of, or I need you to make a payment now. Of course, we want that payment to come in, but it's really about working with our customers. What's the situation that you have found yourself in? How can we help you get out of that? Part of that is recovery. And so after we've attempted collection, if we couldn't collect on those accounts, maybe they've been written off. Well, that stays on folks' credit reports. So now they're trying to get a new car, they're trying to get, a new house loan, whatever, and now they need to clear up their credit reports. So they're calling us to get that taken care of. I think the biggest group, though, that we have is the customer service team. So when you go online and you apply, you'll just see a customer service posting out there, but we'll take those candidates and we'll spread those out into different departments. So we have a billing disputes group. We have a multi-relationship customer where they're handling credit cards and banking clients. We have e-services and a digital team. So there's lots of different smaller teams that you can go to once you apply for that customer service group. The phone screener or recruiter, once they call them, they'll talk more about the opportunity that we're hiring for right then to make sure that they fully understand which group is interviewing.
Okay, awesome. So, and really, when you think about a bank, I don't know if a lot of people think of the opportunity to help someone like get through a difficult situation like that. But I mean, that's an amazing opportunity if you really want to reach out and help customers.
Absolutely.
So, wonderful. All right, let's talk about pay rates for these positions.
So they do vary from department to department based on the needs and the specialty groups. But the lowest amount will be $15. It's actually a little over $15 is the minimum. And it goes up from there, again, based on department and based on your experience. So if you're coming in with call center, that's perfect. But if you don't have call center, other customer service or facing, so retail, restaurant, things like that, that will help increase your starting pay as well.
Oh, wonderful. All right. So we talked about pay rates. This next question is just asking if there's any special requirements that you guys are asking of applicants that are outside of the realm of qualification requirements.
Yeah, so things are a little bit interesting right now with COVID, right? So I mentioned that most of us are working remotely, and it looks like we probably will be for a couple more months. There's not an exact timeline of when we're going to get back on site. So while we're at home, people do need to have a quiet place to work. So that includes, the children and the puppies right there. I've got a couple of puppies myself sleeping in the other room. They were mad that I put them back in their kennels, but so you need to make sure that everybody has a place to be. You need to have 10 megabytes of download internet speed. And then you need to live within a 50-mile radius of the site. So while we are remote right now, the plan is to get back on site. And so you do need to be able to make that commute once that does happen. Okay. Citi will supply the computers for folks so they don't have to do that. Yep, we'll ship one out to everybody to use while they're working at home to make sure they're set up for success. Flexibility. So when you hear that it's a bank, sometimes people think of banker's hours, right? We are not a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday operation. We are a call center. We are open nearly 24 hours, 7 days a week. I think our latest department right now goes until midnight.
Wow.
But there is shift differential for working later hours. There's a weekend premium for working on the weekend. So we do compensate folks for those. I don't want to say morning shifts never happen because sometimes they do.
Right.
But typically you start out in more of a mid shift or a later schedule, and then you can work your way through shift bids into an earlier shift.
Okay, great. So that does actually answer a question that we have pop up over here, and I'll just go ahead and show it. Adam Schoaf asked if some of the positions were remote, and you just covered that for us. So thank you. Thanks for that question, Adam. All right, so we talked about the special requirements. You guys will give a computer, make sure that your environment is pretty quiet as it can be. And then the hours, you have to be flexible. So that's great.
No, it will be a set schedule. So once you accept a shift, you'll know what your shift is going to be, and it will be consistent. So it's not changing from week to week like some other industries do.
Right.
But you need to be flexible to not expect necessarily, a 9 to 5.
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about probably the most important thing we'll discuss here today, and that's how to apply.
Absolutely. So everything is done online these days. So there is a link at the bottom of the page that you can follow, but it's jobs.citi.com/Florence. When you scroll down to the bottom of the page, well, there's some links at the top. So if you want to read a little bit more about the facility and about the company, there's information there. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see the job postings. I will tell you, after you apply for the customer service one, there is an assessment that you take, and it's pretty cool. So it's about a day after you apply, you'll get the link. And it's a sort of a glimpse into life of call center. So you'll have a call coming in, you'll have somebody talking to you, and you have to select the correct answers or how you would answer that question. There's a section off to the side with information about the products. And so you can toggle back and forth and find the answers and then answer that customer's question.
So it kind of gives you a glimpse into what would a day in the life be like.
A little bit, yeah.
Except, of course, when you're really in there and you've got high stress situations and 50 calls coming in, it's like, wow.
Right. It's just a small glimpse.
Yeah, and a lot of people come to us and like that type of environment and like to be on their toes and move around and just get fires put out, and they love that kind of environment. So that's great. All right, so we talked about how to apply and even just a little bit of the day in the life, like of an employee at Citi for the roles that you're hiring for. Would you want to go a little bit more into depth for one of those for us?
Yeah, sure thing. So it is a call center again. So you are almost literally tied to your desk. So if you are a very active person and you're up and about, maybe you like to be outside, call center world may not be the best fit for you. You'll have a headset on, you'll be connected to the computer, and calls do come in pretty much one after the other. So as one call wraps up, you have another customer waiting to have their questions answered. Call volumes do volume. Sometimes there's a break in between, but pretty often it is back-to-back calls. And most of our positions are inbound, so customers are calling us. You're not calling out to them, except for in